that so you understand it.
Awesome. So I am now recording this for Bonkers Cards Club members that aren't able to log on tonight. I want to be able to share this out there. So again, I just kicked off the interview here with Mark Mandel and Leighton Sheldon of Auction Wire, and I was just asking Mark, like, what was the origination of this idea with Auction Wire? When did you start working on this?
Boy, it's a little over a year ago. I'll tell you the quick story about it because I think you guys could relate to it. When I was in my late 50s, now I'm 61. When I was in my late 50s, I decided to retire from having a day job. And I was trying to figure out what's next. And I took the two passions that I love, card collecting, which I've done on and off since I'm 8 or 9 years old, and technology. And I wanted to put the two together. But I didn't know what that meant. I had no specific idea, no specific plan. And I'm in my car just over a year ago listening to podcasts like I normally do. And I came across Leighton's podcast, his trading card therapy show. And he was interviewing Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions that on that particular show. And they were talking, about all sorts of hobby issues. And toward the end, the conversation turned to new ideas and innovations in the hobby and what do we think this hobby needs or would benefit from. And the conversation took shape very quickly around this idea that as collectors, we spend a lot of effort and a lot of time surfing websites looking for that next pickup, going from eBay to Heritage to Mile High to Memory Lane to whomever to see who's got what, when are they open, if it's an auction, when does it close, what the pricing's looking like. And the two of those guys were talking and they said, we really need is somebody to take all these websites and put them together in one spot so that we could do one search and find whatever we're looking for across the hobby. And Gordy, if I tell you I'm listening to these two guys talking about this, and I almost crashed my car because I'm thinking, that's the thing I want too. I want that thing. So I called Leighton and said, hey, I listened to your show and I think you guys are brilliant. Can we go build it together? And we got together at the Philly show last year. It was just a year ago. And we sat there for a long while and we talked together and we realized the more we talked, the more we thought alike. And we said, let's go do something like this and have fun with it and really do something impactful for the hobby. And we were off to the races at that point. It was just such a fortuitous sort of unexpected moment listening to this show in my car that just lit me up so much that I felt I had to do something about this.
That's awesome. So you and Leighton connect, you hear this idea, and then do you have background in like technology development? Like, did you build this software, Auction Wire? What was that process like?
I designed the software, but I'm nowhere near skilled enough to build it.
Got it.
So I'm lucky enough to have a bunch of guys who are developers on our team, many of whom are overseas, but they're amazing developers. And we had the opportunity to kind of lay out a vision for these guys of what we really wanted. Late and I had a pretty shared plan in our minds to what we wanted to build. And we went and we brought these guys on the team and they went off and built it for us. And we've been working on it literally for 10 months now since we really formulated those first ideas.
Yeah, well, that's incredible, man. Well, props to you guys. I know it's been a huge project, and now like it's out, and people are using it. That's how we got connected. You know, we talked at the prior Philly show just about the ways that this could be super helpful for the guys in my community that are interested in looking for specific cards all the time. And this is a tool that's going to help them be able to do exactly that. So I thought it would make total sense to have you come on, talk more about it, show them how to use it. And yeah, man, I just want to say congrats, and I'm excited to have both of you guys here. So we'll love to dive in more and see it.
So let's talk about the system for a little bit. I'll give you guys like just a short understanding of kind of what we have today, and understand that what we're in the market with today is very young and very early. And so we're very proud of what we have, but there's more coming. And toward the end of the conversation here in this show, we'll give you guys a little preview of some things that are coming up in the near future as well. But Auction Wire is really designed, as I was saying, to take a unique look at the hobby. We're trying to give a collector a broad perspective of what's really currently available in the market to act on, whether it be going to an auction or to a marketplace. So if you're not familiar with the term marketplace versus auction, think of like eBay Buy It Now, or REA has a marketplace, or I think it was Memory Lane just rolled out it's like I want it now, where it's a single price for a card. It's not an auction, but then we also have a bunch of auctions. And we're trying to accumulate as many relationships with these different companies as we can, and then have their data available in AuctionWire so that you don't have to really do a whole lot of work to have an understanding of what's, if you're out there shopping for your next Mickey Mantle card or your next Satchel Paige card or your big, Joe DiMaggio rookie card, whatever you might be looking for, the ability to institute a single search across this network of companies and comes back and says, here's all the stuff I found that's out there right now from this company and this company and this company and this company. And then you could click through them to decide, do you like the ones that are there? And if you like one in particular, it's just one more click to go either bid on it or buy it in the company. And so we try to think about this business the way a lot of us might shop for airplane tickets. I make the comparison all day long to like a kayak.com or like an Expedia or one of these Trivago websites
Yeah.
where I go and say, I want to fly from here. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I want to fly from the Raleigh airport to Chicago to go to the National in July. And I'm going to put some dates and I'm going to say, what options do I have? And it's going to say, hey, I found a American Airlines flight, a United flight, a Delta flight, and a JetBlue flight. And I go, oh man, I like the look of that United flight. Click, and it takes me over to the United website to go buy the ticket. And that's the model that we've chosen to pick here, is that we want to be able to aggregate all this sale data together, present you the right information in the right way that you can act on it, and then have it just be one more click to get right to that card or that collectible with
Yeah.
whatever market it's in.
Yeah. I mean, I follow it completely. I think that's amazing. So, um, we're
So
on just auctionwire.ai right
yep.
now.
Yep. So the website's auctionwire.ai. The way I try to explain it to people, we tried to get the .com site. It was owned privately by somebody who was willing to sell it to me for $50,000. And I decided it wasn't worth it. I could get the AI for like artificial intelligence because there's a lot of AI in our system
Yeah.
for $5. And so I thought the $5 deal was a lot better.
Yeah. I
So
think that's fair.
we
Yeah.
went for the auctionwire.ai in order to hit the website. And if you guys can see my screen, I'm
Yeah.
on that exact website now.
We can see it. Yep.
If
And
you guys, go
yeah.
ahead, Gordy.
No, I was going to plug the promo code for Bonker for a 60-day free trial because you have a thing here that says have a
Yep.
code, but I'm sure
You're
we'll.
about a half a step ahead of me, but yes.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to try this out, as Gordy just said, there's a code. It's the Bonker code. You're going to come to auctionwire.a. You're going to hit the have a code button, set
Yeah.
yourself up, make sure you use Gordy's code, and you'll get 60 days for free of AuctionWire before any charges come in. And when the charges do come along, it's only $10 a month or $100 a year to use the site at that point after the 60 days. But for purposes of this, let me show you the website in action. So I've logged in just before the show started, Gordy, to tee up the website. And if you can see my screen here, this is the website. And so again, think of this as a search engine, right? I could search for whatever I want to search for that's out there. We'll do that in just a second together. But I want to bring you down to the rest of the screen here first. This screen is like most screens in this business, it's full of rows of cards. And so here's a bunch of cards here on the top row that I'm panning back and forth on that you'll see here. This is a nice Cracker Jack card that's in a Sterling auction right now. Here's a nice Bowman
Wow.
Mantle card that's in REA.
That Joe
Here's
Jackson's nuts. Yeah.
Here's that incredible Heritage Joe Jackson card that's sitting out there right now. Here's the Satchel Paige card. And you'll see the sources of these Sterling, REA, Heritage, Sirius auctions, and so forth, all on one screen, all together, kind of shoulder to shoulder with each other, without having to click off one website to get to another and pan around and search and do whatever else you have to do. And the same thing holds true for searching. So I could literally type here and say Babe Ruth Gowdy and just hit enter. And we're going to go off and see how many Babe Ruth Gowdy cards we could find. So we found 289 Babe Ruth Gowdy
Oh,
cards at the
yeah.
moment, right? And they're going to be all different price points, all different suppliers. So here's some Heritage cards. If If I scroll down a little bit further, we might see here's some REA cards, here's an eBay listing, and so on and so forth. And you'll be able to start to put these in whatever order you want, from high to low and low to high, or new to old, or old to new. And if you like any of these, let's just say for argument's sake, I'm really interested in this SGC2 Green Ruth. I click on him. I could take a look at the card. I could take a closer look if I really want. I could read about the card. I get some specs on the card, description on that card. We also use AI to write our own descriptions of these cards.
That's
And
awesome.
let's just say at this point, you want to do one of a couple of things. You either want to buy him, or in this case, bid in the auction. We know we have a couple, almost 3 weeks left on that heritage auction before it closes. We could bid by simply clicking on bid. Click on the big green button. It drops me, in this case, into the heritage page where that card is, and I could choose to bid on it or not. But the point is, it's one click to get from Auction Wire directly to the sub-component of, in this case, the heritage site, to be able to choose to take an action on that card or not.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so that's super easy. But let's say I don't love this card. I could scroll down here. It's going to tell me, hey, if you like that card, here's a bunch more. And you're going to notice they're not all the exact same issue card. You got some of the yellow Ruths here. We got the 144 Ruth here. If I start to scroll these windows across, you'll see other options as well. We're using AI to start to formulate recommendations, no different than, let's say, Netflix does. If you go to Netflix to watch a movie and you put on movie X, it's going to say, hey, here's 5 more movies you might like. Click here to watch any of those.
Yeah.
And you could get down whatever rabbit hole you want. So you might say, I really love this one over here, this eBay listing. Click on him, see him, and again, choose to, this is a buy it now one, click on him to wind up, in this case, on the eBay page to choose to act on it or not.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. I think it helps when you're on the hunt looking for a specific card, or
Yep,
even like wanting to explore a specific player category, like to be able to see a lot of different options and different
yep,
cards that are still related to that player. It's a really good tool.
exactly.
Yeah.
But let's just say this is a really scarce card. And let's just say, for argument's sake, you don't love this card. And let's just say you want to kind of add them to your watch list, or a want list, or saved search, so that now the software will do that continual monitoring for you. So all I have to do is, let's say I want to add this Gaudi Ruth to my want list. All I need to do is click on that little heart. Click on that little heart. He's now on my list. And now Auction Wire is going to continue to fan out for me across this network of companies continually. And when either a new card comes along that looks enough like this card where it wants to let me know about it, I'll get an email or a text message from Auction Wire saying, hey, I found you a new one right away. Come take a look. Or if it's sitting in an auction and there's an end time to an auction, it's going to say, hey, we already found this one for you, but now it's winding down and it's going to end in, let's say, an hour or 45 minutes or 30 minutes. Come take another look and maybe place another bid before we miss out. Because if you guys are anything like me, my big concern about auctions, I don't remember when they end. And I might have placed a bid early or made a mental note that, hey, the REA sale is going to end on such and such a day. Make sure I go back and look again. And then I forget. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And so if I could have this software say, hey, that REA Babe Ruth card is coming up right now. Take another look right now before it's too late, and it's impossible to miss out. And so that's the nice thing about this thing is, in addition to just doing live searches, Gordy will wind this up with just showing a little bit of this concept of a watch list. So here's the magic of Auction Wire. In my case, I've added 104 cards to my shopping list by either putting them in one at a time by clicking on those hearts, or literally just uploading a spreadsheet. At this point now, I have this ability to not just watch 104 cards, but the software has gone off on these 104 and found me 14,500 cards that are either identical to or similar enough to these 104, where it wants me to keep an eye on those also. So now I'm up to 14,000 cards being monitored. And of these 14,000 cards, 27 of them are in an auction that's ending later today, but 48 just showed up and opened up as new cards. And so
That's
I'm
excellent.
watching cards coming in, I'm watching cards going out, I'm watching identical cards to cards that I really want, I'm watching similar cards to cards that I might not know about, and be able to start to discover cards that I've never imagined before. So like for example, if I look at like here, I put a, a, a Bowman mantle in my watch list. It's sitting in REA right now, and I have 4 days to go on that sale. But it says, hey, here's 500 other mantle cards that are close enough, either same year, same issue, or close enough where you might have an issue, you might have an interest. So I'm going to show you those too. And when you can start to pan around here and go, boy, that's a really cool one, click on it and start to drill in and start to investigate these cards as I become aware of them.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's such a great research tool and a way to keep you actively being able to keep up with the market because you never know what's going to come any day in terms of new cards coming to market. And the eBay watch list is something that I've used in the past, but those are only cards on eBay. The fact that,
Exactly.
we could put a 54 Red Heart Warren Spawn on my watch list and it's going to tell me on when it pops up on eBay, but it's also going to tell me when it pops up at REA and Heritage. I mean, it's just a one clean, efficient tool for all of it.
Yep.
What's
And
the
then
Mark, I'm curious, is this currently this is just website, right? There's not a web mobile app
there's
yet.
not an app right now, but the app, the web does work on a phone or a tablet as well. It's just not perfect. It's close enough where for now we prioritize the web, but it will work on all different size devices.
Very cool. Um, do you have plans for an app at any point or
Yeah,
what's your
it's
thoughts
it's
on
on
it?
the docket for later this year, but we want to be able to go out and sort of we found the web approach to be faster and easier to iterate as we're developing the software. We wanted the ability to go back and continue to update it. Like every few days, we're putting out more auction companies, we're putting out more functionality, we're putting out more whatever. And if it were an app, that's much harder to do as quickly as we want to move versus the web. The web we have total control over,
Very cool.
right?
And so you've also been demoing this across some different card shows too, right? I mean, we saw you at Philly, obviously, or me and Leighton shot the video.
Yep.
Where else are you going to be showing this off and demoing it? And what can you talk to in terms of like the amount of people that have onboarded and some feedback that you've got from
Yep.
people that are actually using it?
Yep. So the next place that we're going to be officially set up, as Leighton said, is going to be the Strongsville show on April 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's the
Awesome.
one that's just outside of Cleveland. We'll have a nice presence over there with a demo station and a bunch of swag we're giving away and a bunch of other stuff as well, and certainly doing demos for those 3 days.
Very
Uh, that said,
I plan on going
we've
down
been
there
very fortunate that
Monday if
people
we
have
have some
been
good
willing
weather. I
to
want to.
come along and take a look at AuctionWire and sign up for it. And we've gotten hundreds and hundreds of people now who have signed up. We don't yet have thousands of people, but we're being very intentional about letting people in slowly because this is so new that we want to make sure that everybody has the best experience we can give them.
Yeah,
We're doing a lot of very personal onboarding. We're taking, conversations with people literally one at a time and helping them become comfortable with AuctionWire versus just flooding people in and saying, knock
figure it
yourself
out.
out, you
Yeah.
get.
Absolutely. Well, very cool. What I want to do now, because we have a couple minutes left, I wanted to turn it over to the audience for a Q&A for anybody that has any questions for Mark. Again, everybody is getting free 60 days access to this for free using promo code BONKER to check out AuctionWire. But if there's anything that's kind of off, just be,
Shit.
hitting your curiosity, would love for you to be able to ask. Yeah, go ahead, Ted.
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't on mute. My cat just made
Oh.
his room away. Sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. Anybody else have any questions? What's up, Jim? How are you?
Hey, so this sounds wonderful. It's kind of like you said, it's the Expedia of baseball cards. So it's going to be
Yeah.
great. Um, so you were talking about like if you type in a search and then it kind of gives you ideas of, expands. Okay, what about this? What about this? What about if I'm just dead set on I want a 71 Hank Aaron
Yep,
SGC 8
yep,
only?
yep,
Can it just keep it that fine tuned?
100%.
Okay.
So
That's what I was wondering if it was
for
just going to
me,
keep
that's the
going.
difference between a watch list and a save search. A save search and auction wire is high precision. I want this player, this year, this issue, this grade, this grader between X dollars and Y dollars.
Hmm. Okay.
Right? Don't go roaming around. Just give me what I asked for.
Excellent. That's it. Perfect.
And then Robert, I saw your hand up. You had a question? I
Yeah,
got you.
can you
Yep,
hear me?
I got you unmuted. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask about looking for a specific grade, but in terms of searching auction houses, is there any way to filter the buyer premium? Like some of the buyer premiums are quite high, 19, 20%. Can we filter out some of the auction houses that we don't want to buy cards from?
You can turn any auction company on or off.
Great
So
question.
that if you
Yeah.
determine certain companies have the fees are too high, just shut them off. And so that's just a little checklist. You go check, 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 yes, check, 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 no.
Yeah, it's a great point, Robert. Yeah, that also helps add in terms of functionality with things. And it's
Yep.
a separate point for another conversation we can have later on the call, just on, where the future is for some of these auction houses with the premiums that they continue to
Yep.
raise.
And
Uh,
you guys should notice this. If you go just quickly back to my screen about the buyer premium for a minute, we'll let it redraw itself and you'll see here. We're trying to be completely transparent. So every card that we
yeah, right
show
there.
in
Yeah.
auction wire, you'll see has the buyer premium percentage and dollar amount on every item that has a buyer premium associated to it. So we'll see
I've never
that.
even heard of Sterling, really.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're actually
So that's what's cool.
yeah,
yeah.
they're a fairly vintage specific smaller auction company who's been around for like more than 10 years and doing amazing work.
Huh. Yeah, that's super cool to get that extra exposure.
Yep. So you'll see every auction company who does charge a buyer premium will show, like, for example, this Bowman mantle, the net price, the bid is 2,100, but it's sitting in REA, and we know REA is a 23% company. So they're $483 currently in fees. So the total price of that mantle would be 2583.
Right. Very cool. Did anyone else have any other questions for Mark or Leighton?
Gordy, if no one else does, I at least wanted to bring something else up in
Yeah.
terms of an awesome use case for card shows. So, as you know, we hung out a little bit at the Philly show recently,
Yeah.
and I had a card on my list. It was a 1933 Gaudi, number 144, which is obviously not a common, not a hard to find card, but obviously not as common as it used to be. And so, what I did there was I used Auction Wire to look what was available across all the different platforms, whether it be fixed price or at auction. I went to the show hoping I could candidly find either a better example for a better price or just a similar example for a better price, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to do that. It might still be in the Auction Wire software, but I wanted to explain what I did. So I went to Philly. I didn't find it there. So then I went back to Auction Wire because I had earmarked on my watch list. REA had in their marketplace a 1933 Gaudi, number 144, and a PSA 2.5. And I just bought it the other day from their marketplace. And it wasn't an immediate purchase, but I feel like as collectors, we can all appreciate that. You're not just always bid, 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 right? The card was $17,500, Gordy. We can all appreciate that's a fair amount of money.
Yeah.
Maybe I used Auction Wire for the start of my search. And then, believe it or not, I kind of went the card show route in the middle of it. And then I came back to Auction Wire once I realized that I didn't fulfill what I was looking for at the card show. And even though I did see Ruths there, they were either too expensive for the grade or not nice enough for what I was looking for.
Right.
And so it was an awesome use case that I used in real life. And then I just bought the card. So I think it still might be in REA's marketplace because they still they list cards that are sold, not just the ones that are available. And
Yeah.
that's the one I purchased.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Leighton. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's oftentimes it can just serve as a research tool, like it's for you to be able to get a feel for where the market is. And yeah, I mean, great call going to card shows and you're seeing the sticker prices that other dealers are going to have. Well, how does this compare to what the rest of the market is showing right now? So a lot of people that are using data tools at card shows are looking at previous sales comps. However, sometimes it's even more important to know like what the market is in terms of what is out there available for sale at what price. So really good point. And another just tool that, people will be able to have when if they're out on the road or if they're at home shopping. I love it.
Hey,
And
Gordy, could I make a suggestion?
yeah,
I'm thinking that we all know now that we have a code from Gordy, which is the Bonker code to get you guys the 2 months for free here.
yeah.
Let's just say this, following this show, anybody who puts the Bonker code to set themselves up in AuctionWire, I'll also give one of these shirts to.
Nice. Okay. I
So if you
love
guys
it.
have seen the shirt that I'm wearing,
It is a good shirt.
it's not just the card, it's the chase. And everybody who's been around the hobby as long as we have know that it really is about chasing that next card and how that feels and kind of the excitement about that. And I wear this to shows and people will be like, yeah, man, it's so true.
Yeah.
And so I thought if anybody who wants a free shirt, uh, I'll make sure that I drop one in the mail to you if you're trying out AuctionWire using the Bonker code.
I love it. Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. So everyone keep that posted. I do wear that shirt like once a week right now. I've been rocking it at the gym quite a bit. So
Awesome.
I love it. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So also, Mark Layton, just so you guys know as well, we're recording this. I'm going to be posting the whole meeting up onto my YouTube channel afterwards. So I had a bunch of club members specifically ask me to record this tonight because they couldn't make it, whether they had kids practices or late at work or whatever. So we're going to be able to publish it and have more people listen and watch. And I'll share this on the newsletter as well tomorrow. That'll go out for Bonkers Cards Weekly. If the group, I don't know if anyone else has any other questions for Mark or Leighton, feel free to pop on your screen or come off of mute if you do. What I'll say is, feel free to reach out to me. I can make an introduction to them if you'd like to speak to them afterwards. Mark, Leighton, if you guys want to share where they can find you as well, and connect with you after as well, feel free.
Sure. It's easy to find me. I'm just Mark with a C at the end, MARC at auctionwire.ai.
Okay. And that's the best place to contact you in
Or
social
check
media.
check us all out on Instagram. We're AuctionWire on Instagram. You could find us out there. Certainly, on the website or any other place. Just email is easy for us.
Awesome. And then Leighton, feel free. Where can we find you?
Sure, you can email me directly, Leighton, Leighton, at justcollect.com, or on Instagram under Leighton_Sheldon, which is my last name.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining, kicking off the meeting. Where I'm going to go next on this, and feel free to hang out if you'd like to. I'm going to be sharing my screen here to bring up what are we getting into next? Oh, wait, don't go anywhere. We got to give away the free year subscription. It's a
Ah,
trivia question.
Oh, very cool.
All right, I like this trivia question. All right, here we go.
I'm
Present
bummed I
this.
can't answer it myself.
If you know it,
Do
we'll see how quickly you can get it. But the way this will work, guys, first person to answer it correctly, messaging it in the chat, will get one free year subscription at AuctionWire. So I'm gonna share the screen now. The question is, which 1950s top set includes the most Hall of Fame rookie cards? And wow, Tim Galvin nailed it. 1957 tops, just ahead of Jim Simpson. Anthony says 1956. 1956 only has one Hall of Fame rookie. I don't know if anybody knows that one off the top of their head. If anyone wants to guess that in the chat, but the number one set for most Hall of Fame rookie cards is 1957 tops. There are six Hall of Fame rookies in 1957 tops. Double points now to Tim or Jim. Can you name all six? Larry Meary's got it. Yes, Louis Aparicio is the only Hall of Fame rookie in 1956. But who knows all six rookies from 57 tops? Let's see if anybody else, and you can come off of mute as well, guys, if you want to come off of mute to anybody who can name them. Feel free to come off of mute or video. But let's see. Jim's got three. Brooks, Frank, and Drysdale. I'd say those are probably the easiest. Williams. I'm trying to think of Williams, who he would be referring to. Larry saying Williams. I'm trying to think of what player. Ted Williams is much earlier. Colavito is not a Hall of Famer. So we've got three so far. Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Don
Funny.
Drysdale, There you go. Jim Bunning is one that people forget. Bill Mazeroski. There you
Yep.
go. There's one more. I knew this was going to be the last one. Is anyone going to be able to get the sixth? This is the one that gets under the radar here. And we might have to bring in the pros here because I feel like Leighton or Mark, one of you two guys might know this.
I'm outclassed on this one.
Leighton, you got it?
I mean, I was working on it. I'm up to 5, but I think you named them all. Frankie and Brooks Robinson, Bunning, Drysdale, Maz.
Yes, there's one more.
It's definitely a lesser one.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no, I believe you. But it's a great question, man. I'm definitely going to reuse this. It's awesome. Just thinking by series. So it's not Bobby Richardson. It's not Kubek because they're not Hall of Famers.
Hard question.
Yeah. Hold on. Brooks, Frank.
It is not Kubak.
No, it's not. Yeah.
I'm getting some messages.
Oh, Whitey Herzog. He's in the Hall of Fame. Amazing
there you go,
question.
Leighton.
Oh
There
my
it
God. I
is.
knew it was something like that. That's awesome.
There it
I saw in the
is.
chat. Someone just said in the chat.
Herzog. There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Jim.
That's awesome. Great question, Gordy.
Yeah. So we are going to remind me. So the winner of the membership is Tim Galvin. So Tim, just shoot me a message. I'll intro you to Mark. We'll get the subscription for you.
We'll get you set up.
And yeah, guys, so that was the trivia. Now, the next portion, what I have planned is guess the card. You know what? I'll try to find a card to give away. I think I've got a slab somewhere in here. I wish I had a cooler card. All right. I've got 2 cards I'll give away. The last 2. We've got a 1973 Smithsonian Lou Gehrig and a BVG 95. It's a neat card. And then a 73 Dick Allen SGC7. So I'll make the winners of Guess the Card, the last 2 Guess the Card winners, pick up these slabs on me. So let's get into it. And again, guys, use the chat to answer this question first. Hopefully everybody's ready. Let's do it. Guess the card. What do we got here? This is this is a warm-up round. The last 2 will make it. And look at that, Tim Galvin's on it. Yes, I figured we'd keep it going. 1957 tops. I don't know what the red ink is doing on my screen here, but it is a 57 tops K-line. Very impressive. I put the jersey number in there so you knew it was 6. We were talking 57 tops. Jim Simpson and Tim Galvin are going at it right now. I love it. It's like two champs just back and forth here. Ted Skinner, yes, it was 57. That is, I believe, the only 57 tops card in Guess the Card tonight. So no more hints on that. So next one in. What do we got here? What do we got here?
Oh, all right. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Jim Simpson's got it. 75 George Brett. I wasn't sure how much
Good
I
job.
wanted to show you of the green border. That green border gives it away very
That's
quickly.
great.
All right, we'll go for another one here. Guess the card here. What do we got? A very iconic border on this one. And yes, you guys got it. 82 tops traded. Cal Ripken Jr., my preference of all of the Cal Ripken cards for sure. I really like the tops traded. Much lower pop count to me, just like a better card. I do have this card in PSA 10 if anyone's interested in it. Pretty sweet. I think these next 2, I'll make the next one for the Dick Allen 73 SGC 7. I believe there's 2 more left. So let's see if we get into it here. Yeah, who's got this one? Let's see in the chat. Who's got this one? Tim Galvin. Yes, sir. 1934 Gaudy. Hank Greenberg. Good pick there, Tim. All right. I'll write this down. I think I've got one more. There might be 2, but if there's 2, we'll just make the last one just a little extra fun bonus. But Tim Galvin. And then Paul goes, how do I not get that? Paul, I know you've got some good Hank Greenberg stuff. All right. And then let's do another one. Guess the card. I bet you I stump you guys on this for a second. Maybe not. Maybe you guys get it right away, but I wanted to see. I knew it. I knew everyone was going to go 48 leaf Jackie. It is not 48 leaf Jackie. So it worked. The trick worked. I'm curious if anyone, so let's see if anyone else, wow, that's all we got. That's the only Brooklyn Dodger we've got. I put the yellow background in there to try to help with this. Very underrated card, in my opinion.
Good job.
There you go, Tim Galvin.
49 Bowman.
I
Yeah.
know where you're at, Tim. It's the 49 Bowman Duke Snyder. Really
Good
cool.
fake out.
Yeah, very good card. I love it. So let me, I think there's one more. Let me see if there's one more. Nope, that was the last one. So Tim Galvin scooped them both. Big night on the trivia for Tim Galvin. I love it. The only thing I wanted to talk about as well before I open it up just to Q&A for the guys to ask me any questions, hobby talk, however long you guys wanted the meeting to go. I wanted to let everybody know I'm finalizing my plans to go down to the Atlanta Front Row Card Show next weekend. For anybody that's West Coast based, you've probably heard of the Front Row Card Shows. They're very fast growing, basically card show brand. They have a lot of shows that they run all along the West Coast. They typically have really strong attendance and they're expanding to the East Coast. And this is their first East Coast show. It's in Atlanta. I'm going to be going down there. I might be stopping by the opening night for the Atlanta Braves. So we're going to figure out some details tomorrow in terms of what that looks like. But wanted to let the group know if anybody was going to be in the Atlanta area, I will be there. So check out the Front Row Card Show. It's going to kind of open it up to the group as well. If anybody has gone to a Front Row Card Show, I was kind of curious just in terms of what your guys' experience have been like that with them and any of your other favorite shows that you guys have gone to. And feel free to come off of mute, guys. I know I had everybody on mute in the beginning. I see a lot less. Everyone's muted and cameras off tonight. I didn't mean to put everyone's cameras off, but um, if everybody's feeling shy tonight, that's all good too. I just wanted to put it out there for the card show scene. I'm still deciding travel wise about whether or not I'm going to be able to make Strongsville, but I'm definitely going to be able to make Atlanta in 2 weeks. A lot of travel coming up for me, but yeah.
I'm still waiting to hear if the Chantilly show ever lands on another location.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ted. Mark, have you heard anything about that?
No, I heard they're still looking for a new building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've heard.
I guess, I mean, there's can't be too many different convention centers in that area to choose from, and I'm sure those places book out pretty far in advance. But that's such a good metro market. Like that DC, Baltimore metro is so good, for the vintage world. Like I've always done great at the Chantilly show.
Yeah, I mean, even the smaller, like, 150 card shows, I mean, they have proliferated in this area. You could, I'd say almost every weekend is a card show. I mean, now I do 2 to 3 a month. And I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
between Glen Burnie, Frederick, out to Hagerstown, you've got a bunch of small ones popping up down near like Martinsburg, West Virginia, and Winchester. You've got, I want to say, a good solid 4 different promoters in this area doing card shows.
How many tables are at those shows, Ted?
Like like what 100 to 150. I mean, they're decent.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. That's
You
awesome that you
still
can.
have a lot of new stuff. Like the Frederick show, I do really well at because there's 2 or 3 guys with vintage, and I usually bring out set builder. I mean, I've got stars, but I bring out like set builder stuff too. So like I'll have one of those big books just like filled with 65s in number order, and they can just flip through and pick stuff out. So I've been doing really well with that. Just VGX to X Mint stuff, and people
I
working on
see.
sets.
I see a comment here from Jim. He says in North Florida, we're having shows every weekend here near Jacksonville, and it's good. It's interesting here in Jersey as well. We've got a lot of regional shows that basically any weekend you want in the Jersey, New York area, you can find a show to go to as well. So I think that is emblematic of how strong the hobby is right now, that there are multiple card shows in every state's running at the same time. I know, was it Sports Collectors Digest has like a card show tracker you could go on and look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Beckett has one too, that you can sign up for. Or actually, there's like a search on their website, but they've got a tracker.
Gotcha. I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen that before. Yeah, I know. I'm sure Beckett's got a lot of changes going on right now with everything, PSA
Yep.
acquiring them, and who knows what the future of Beckett looks like. I think it's been rather quiet on that front, um, but we'll see. Uh,
Yeah. I'll tell
Gordy, I
you,
got a quick
the
question.
gaming cards are definitely, in fact, I'm gonna say infesting the sports card shows.
yeah, no, it's crazy. Go ahead, Tim.
Uh, Interested when you were at Philly, was there still a lot of heat around NBA and Mike Baker?
Yeah, a ton of it, man.
Was there?
Insane. Yeah, I'm working to get him on the podcast because I'd like to interview him and get his thoughts on it. The market for the NBA label stuff is just crazy. I think it's hard for me to fully square because the cards are still graded what they're graded. It's his approval of saying that this is undergraded that is driving the prices up so much on them. I every dealer I was going to though, and even some of the cards I sold to guys, like I sold a 68 Brooks Robinson and a 10 to somebody, and as soon as I completed the deal, they're like, "Guess what I'm doing? I'm bringing this right to Mike Baker." And same thing when I was at the West Coast show. I sold a 63 Willie Mays at PSA 9 to a dealer. And we get the deal done. I saw him the next day and he was like, "Did you show that card to Mike Baker?" And I was like, "No, like I haven't used him or his services really yet. I'm curious to know more as to why people are so obsessed with this guy." But he didn't get the sticker on it and he was all, upset because he thought it would get the sticker and it would be worth 2 times as much as it was because it had that sticker. So, dealers really like the NBA stickers. They get like double the comps of whatever the cards are in that grade. I don't know how sustainable that is. I myself have never bought NBA stickers. When I buy inventory that I'm reselling for the show, I tend to stay away from them because I find it hard to stomach like paying such a premium over comps for the same card. But I also understand that it does help verify that it is a card of good eye appeal. So I think it's interesting. He's super popular right now. Everybody wants to get their stuff graded with him. I only have one card. I've had this in my PC for a little bit now. I just picked this up recently and I've been reluctant to sell it. It's a beautiful 33 Gaudy Gehrig with the NBA silver on it. And I love the card, but I can clearly tell, like, sticker or no sticker, it's a good eye appeal card. So I'm curious to see the longevity of it and if people are going to like go back and look at some of the prices they paid for NBA stickers and be like, why did I pay for a PSA 8 price for this nice looking PSA 6? But maybe that is what they want to do. I think I tend to be in the minority with that opinion, but it's
I'm
yeah, Jim.
I'm with you on that. It's the people that are, I shouldn't say anti-grading, but they prefer the raw cards. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, we don't need to grade it. Could you imagine their thoughts if they find out, if they dig in more and hear about this, that we're actually grading the grades? I mean, it's a
Yes.
little excessive. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, no, and I'm not even trying to put the point out that I am or I'm not a fan of it. I'm more just like I always share my honest perspective on it. Like it's has surprised me a lot how much it's taken off and the money that people are spending on it. And I want to interview him because I want to hear like about his experience, what he thinks about the after sale market of it. I have clients that I broker cards to, like really high dollar cards. And sometimes guys specifically want the NBA sticker on it because they want to know that there's another party that is validating them for saying that I think this is a good looking copy. And I say that's fine, like I'll get you that card. But it's interesting. I think he's one of the, or I believe he was like the original grader or founder of PSA. So he's got a huge amount of credibility behind him. And obviously there's a huge market for people that want it. So I don't know.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to just like crack it yourself, send it back to PSA and see if it gets regraded with a higher grade?
You could, yeah. I believe, Mark, have you used MBA yet at all?
I have not, but I know a lot of people who swear by him financially.
Yes, exactly. So you hear a lot on that. I believe he charges a percentage of the value of the card if it labels. Is that correct?
Yes, plus a fee. So it's kind of like an upcharge model like everybody else has now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, the other side conversation to it that's important is like making sure that it doesn't flood the market. Like if it becomes more commonplace to see these stickers, then the scarcity of them isn't as strong and the value would go down. So, I'd love to hear his perspective on that as more people are starting to use his services and stuff as well. Uh, yeah, Preston says, who do you think the target audience is? It's interesting. I get question asked. I figured I would get some questions on this tonight. Who do you think the target audience is? People new to the hobby that are not confident in their own eye and like figuring out eye appeal. Um, I think so. I also think eye appeal has always driven value in sports cards. Like a nicely centered card with good eye appeal will always demand a premium. My point that I'm trying to make is, and I think Preston is as well, like if I just took the sticker off of this, like you guys would still all agree this is a really, really nice Gehrig. So there is, it's sort of like just like with why PSA in the higher grade stuff, like this is a PSA 7. If you compare this to an SGC 7, I would guess the PSA 7s do more. And part of that is because of the brand PSA. And now Mike Baker has done a good job of creating the Mike Baker branding that like this is signifying it's a high level card, and that's that gold label, which is his highest standard, is another, component of branding. So it's just like anything, like why do people buy designer shoes or designer clothing? It's the branding of it and what it signifies is certain quality. So good question, Preston. Uh, Good stuff. I do think I will get Mike Baker on the podcast in the next month, so I'll try to ask him some good questions on that, and I'd like to meet him. So, uh, what's our opinion of Kevin O'Leary, good or bad for the hobby? His Oscars appearance is interesting. I'll give you my honest take on the whole Kevin O'Leary thing. I don't really like it when I can feel that people have ulterior motives to what they're doing. It doesn't feel like the most authentic thing in the world that why he's into sports cards. I don't think he's really been a collector his whole life by any means. Not to say that you can't find the hobby later in life, but I think it's really him taking advantage of his platform and trying to drive up prices for his own good. And Larry says his ego. I do agree with that. I will say the other side to the coin, though, is that it is bringing a lot more people into the hobby, at least from an attention perspective. Like, would I rather have or not have somebody on the red carpet at the Oscars with a basketball card around their neck? I think I would rather have that because there are major news outlets that are now talking about it. There are people at work saying, hey, doesn't Jim or doesn't Bob that collect cards, like maybe I should look more into this? That type of like reaction that happens downstream is extremely positive for the total size of the hobby as an ecosystem, as an industry. I have never particularly liked the way Kevin O'Leary has handled himself, how he treats people. If I have to put that aside, though, I do still think it's a net positive for what the hobby is.
He's certainly in it for alternate asset class, right?
Yeah. Which is like something that I've been talking about for years. So
Yeah.
when I hear him say that, I'm like, this is confirming something that I've been speaking outwardly about. So it's very like validating for me. I almost just wish it could have been somebody else that doesn't isn't like that, but sometimes you kind of have to be like, all right, this is what it is. I had a conversation today with somebody who's brokering a lot of very high level cards. He's a big mentor of mine that's helped me brokering the high dollar cards. And he said a lot of transaction volume has happened in the 6 and 7 figure card categories over the last 10 days. And he does attribute some of it to activity that Kevin O'Leary drew up from ultra high net worth people looking at this stuff, similarly to art and watches. He also mentioned to me on the phone today that the Aaron Judge Superfractor sale spurred a lot of new money coming into the vintage category, of guys speculating, well, if this Aaron Judge card is worth this, then what would a, Pop 5 1949 Jackie Robinson PSA 9 or a 51 Bowman Mickey Mantle PSA 9, some of these really big level cards, what would they be worth? Because when you look at what some of this stuff had sold previously for in the last few years, like this stuff has doubled, tripled, quadrupled in value, and some of the players are not as historically relevant or culturally significant as some of these vintage cards that we like are. So I do think the higher end vintage card market's going to continue to go higher because of guys like O'Leary, because of some of these like media headlines of really large sales. So um, it's an interesting time for sure. But anytime people are going to talk about sports cards as alternative assets, like that's something that I've been bounding the table on for, since I started making content 5 years ago. So it's good stuff, man. Love the questions tonight, though. What do you think about these new cards with modern and Hall of Famers signed on the same card? I actually don't mind it. Spoke about this on a podcast recently. I love I would like to see tops and modern cards infuse vintage play cards more and vintage memorabilia more. Anytime that you can attach like the history of sports into sports cards, I think is going to bring the vintage audience into the modern card collecting category. So I actually don't really mind it. Anthony says I'm going to wear my 86 Fleer Jordan around my neck at my grad school graduation. I love it, Anthony. Congrats on graduating grad school. They did it in Top Series 1 with the 52 Tops mantle. Leighton says, yes, I'm a huge fan of that move, Leighton. And I actually heard from somebody, a birdie told me, connected to that 52 Tops mantle is certainly not going to be a beater copy. I'll leave it at that. I don't think they've announced what grade it is, but it is not a low grade 52. I'm sitting on one, have no idea what the value will end up once they build the card. Yeah. That's interesting. I like the component of you know bringing legends of the game with the modern players. I think it's a cool piece. I don't even mind some of those like triple thread cards. I see Chris Bose is on here. He bought a really cool, I believe it was a Jackie Robinson game used bat from me. I think it was a game used bat card, I want to say, or game used jersey card that Topps made not too long ago. Like I think that stuff's very undervalued when you see like how historically specific and like how attached somebody can be to a player or a moment in time in history. Like I think a lot of those cards, some of the patch cards when they're game used or they're game used bats, like Ruth has some game used bat cards that are surprisingly not that expensive. Like that type of stuff I personally really like at the prices that they're selling for currently. Um, but yeah, some good questions in the chat. I love it. Um, yeah. So that, I mean, unless anyone else had anything else they wanted to engage with or bring up conversationally, I really appreciate everyone for hopping on tonight. Tim, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah. Well, first off, I just wanted to personally thank Leighton because his content got me through the pandemic.
No, that's awesome.
uh, and I am planning to go to Strongsville. I don't know if anybody else here is going to be going. I'd love to meet up with anybody that is. But yeah, Mark and Leighton, I'll definitely stop by and say hello.
That's
Awesome.
so great, man. Excellent. Mark and Leighton, do you guys have any parting words before we bounce here?
Just to say thank you for the chance to talk with you and show you what we're up to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, I love it. I think it's an amazing product, and anytime you can be able to add value like that, I mean, there's a ton of work that went into that. I'd love to be able to help support you, dude. So congrats on it.
Thanks for having us on, Gordy. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, Leighton. Well, good stuff, guys. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else planned on the meeting tonight. I loved all the questions I was getting. Evan said, "How do you think?" Oh, that's a really good question. I actually don't want to go without answering this because I actually want to make video content on this in the next week or two. Um, Evan says, how do you think the lockout at the end of the season is going to affect the industry? I think this is the biggest risk to the sports card hobby right now that not everybody is thinking about is the MLB lockout. If you look at what happened in previous MLB lockouts, I mean, especially even at the end of the original junk wax era, there was an MLB strike that significantly impacted the card market. And the MLB lockout, if it were to actually end the season or the players were not to go out and play, that would be catastrophic for modern sports card valuations. I don't think it would hurt the vintage card market, but a lot of what moves modern sport card prices is on-field play. So if you don't have the ability to speculate on where prices are going to go for players, if you think they're going to have a good season or this player is really hot right now, I want to buy more of his cards. Or on the reverse side, I want to sell this player's cards. He's not doing well. If you don't have a season, if you don't have games to be able to watch and speculate on that, the amount of transaction volume that's going to happen on cards is going to decrease. And if you lessen the amount of transaction volume, you will see prices deflate. Part of the reason that we have such a strong sports card market right now and prices are increasing is because there is so much liquidity. There's so much liquidity because there's so much transaction volume happening. People are talking about the games, they're talking about the players, the cards, the releases. A strike would have huge implications for the modern sports card market, and that will, unfortunately, that could have some downfield consequences as well for the vintage card market. I think the vintage card market is getting a little bit of an uptick in valuation because there's more audience. There's more collectors coming in that are coming from the modern side and loving to buy, the historically, big names and players. So, great question from Evan. And I'm really glad I got to cover that and at least put that out on everybody's radar to think about if you are going to speculate on modern cards. So, good question, Evan. Um, Evan, you have a good you pick up some more info tonight. Evan's our rookie new to the hobby club member. I'm gonna unmute him. See, Evan, let me unmute you. I see you talking. I'm just gonna ask to unmute. He's still on mute, but I see him. He's throwing his hands up. I appreciate the question at very least, Evan. I'm hoping that you're picking up some good stuff. But well, yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone coming on. I think we can probably call the meeting here tonight a little early for us, but make sure to come back for the April meeting. I'll get that in the calendar in a few weeks. I want to leave with one thing. I have some really exciting news coming, something I've been working on for a very, very long time. And been thinking a lot about the whole Bonkers community throughout the process of it. I want to thank everybody for all of your support. And I'm really excited for kind of the next evolution of what Bonkers Cards will be. It's a really big deal to me. I'm really excited about it. Thought a lot about you guys when I was going through it. So I'm excited to share more and be on the lookout for that announcement in the next week or two. But just want to say thank you to all you guys. And Ben says congrats on the Jordan auto sale. Thank you. Very excited about that as well. But yeah, we'll talk soon. Appreciate everybody. Thank you to Mark and Leighton for joining tonight. Guys, be sure to follow all the content coming from this as well. Subscribe to the Bonkers Cards YouTube channel. New episode of the Gordy Bonker podcast dropped today. I interviewed America's Cobbler. If you don't know who that is, definitely check out his social media profile. He's got over 2 million followers. He happens to be a really big sports card collector. It was a great conversation. He's actually a member of the Bonkers Cards community. So check out the interview, and I will see you guys next month here on the call. Appreciate you guys all so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Good night.